Welcome back, Crackle Addicts! I'm Lupine Fiasco, and this is Daily Fab Gameplay. Last Friday, we finally got to watch the much-anticipated show match between Card Guys and Blue Pitch. This was the first high-profile appearance of Rosetta Heroes, and us plebs had the privilege of getting a first look at how the pros think these decks should be built. Nathan Crawford and Pudding Tam were representing us Aurora gamers, and I'll be putting their lists up side by side to see where they aligned and differed with each other and with me. Subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on Twitter for all the latest Aurora tech, discussion, and gameplay. And if you want to support me financially and get a few goodies in return, head over to my Patreon. Links to those socials are in the video description below. Comparing Nathan's list to Pudding's shows us a lot of red, indicating differences between the two decks. That's exciting. The depth of Aurora deck building does a lot to allay fears that she'd be straightforward Lightning Phi. The first difference I want to highlight is in the blue count. Nathan is favoring a blue count of 9 compared to Pudding's 12, not including Warmonger's Diplomacy in the sideboard. I want to highlight the shared blues between the two lists. Current Funnel is playable on its own, acting as glue to fix clunky hands without Go Again, but more importantly, let's talk about Blink and Sigil of Lightning. These two, combined with the Electrostatic Discharge played in both lists, comprise what I'm calling the Flash Package, instants that enable and empower Gone in a Flash by satisfying two conditions. First, they're instants. Second, they achieve their full effect even when played in the resolution step, after Gone in a Flash has dealt damage. This is contrasted by a card like Lightning Press, which needs to be played before damage is dealt for full power. Each card is best in certain situations. Blink works best when you start your turn with Gone in a Flash and without Go Again. You recover your Gone in a Flash and action point, then play the rest of your turn. Electrostatic Discharge works best when you start your turn with Gone in a Flash and with Go Again. You recover your Gone in a Flash and action point while also empowering your next attack, then play the rest of your turn. Sigil of Lightning works best when you end your turn with Gone in a Flash. You recover your Gone in a Flash to put in Arsenal while also setting up an embodiment of Lightning. Each card demonstrates the raw value of bouncing Gone in a Flash. Each blue effectively has 4 power and Discharge effectively has 7. As I noted in my deck tech last week, comboing with Gone in a Flash is one of the strongest things Aurora can do. Looking at the different reds played in either deck, we see that Nathan and Pudding were largely following the same plan, but with different steps. Sizzle and Swarming Gloomveil are both 0-cost 3-power actions in the right situation. Sizzle at the start of a turn and Gloomveil in the middle of it. Ravenous Rabble and Second Strike are 0-cost 4-power attacks with Go Again in most cases. The real spice is in Nathan's use of Eclectic Magnetism and Red Electrify, compared to Pudding's more traditional, in as much as an unreleased hero can be built traditionally, use of Electromagnetic Somersault. The idea is to sneak burn up and electrify effects over the top of incomplete blocks at reaction speed, such that they aren't telegraphed. The value that Nathan loses by playing a 1 for 3 and 1 for 5 is made up for in the fact that burn-up is actually connecting, something that is far less likely to happen when it's shown before blockers. Nathan leans into that style of sneaky damage with his use of Spellbound Creepers, something that a lot of Aurora gamers have avoided, Pudding included. Pudding's omission of Shock Charmers indicates disrespect for Kano, but his inclusion of Reaping Blade suggests respect for Verdance. I like Nathan's use of Mark of Lightning to push a Channel Lightning Valley trigger over the top of defensive decks, with the understanding that he would lose the 3-block value from Grasp of the Arknight. Both players prioritize use of Face Purgatory, though Nathan clearly values it more highly as it is his only piece of head armor. Despite their different approaches to pushing burn-up damage through blocks, both players largely prioritized low blue counts coupled with Cheerios, 0-cost attacks that function on an all-red hand. What lessons can I take away from this by comparing Nathan's and Pudding's lists to what I debuted last week? First, I overestimated the importance of blues in the deck, especially compared to Nathan's blue count of 9. As I explained, I thought that Aurora's top priority would be to make an embodiment every turn, and that a second blue could be converted to a rune champ. What I've since learned and seen is that Aurora often doesn't need an embodiment to function. Many of her attacks either have go again naturally or can easily gain it. Additionally, embodiments are superfluous on our arc lightning turns, and the idea that your second blue is at least worth 1 point of value from pitching it to grasp shouldn't be any consolation. That's quite bad. It isn't that Aurora never wants to draw a blue, but rather that she can function quite well without them. The blues in your deck should serve a purpose beyond just pitching, hence the exclusion of Heaven's Claws. Current Funnel has a strong effect, Blink and Sigil bounce or gone in a flash, and the Electrify in Pudding's list replaces itself when played from Arsenal or when blocking with Face Purgatory. Flicker Wisp and Vaporize are situational at best, even among sideboard cards, and are better off being replaced by proven effects like those produced by Warmonger's Diplomacy and Exude Confidence, a card that I really want to test with. Given that we want to drop the blue count, 2-cost attacks like Command and Conquer and the Weakest Link are too difficult to play reliably. We should replace these extraneous or useless cards with more go again in the form of Flittering Charge, Ravenous Rabble, or Sizzle. Finally, regarding equipment, we can safely say that Face Purgatory is better than I thought, and Snapdragon Scalers are worse. Lightning Greaves combos with Arc Lightning and Gone in a Flash, 2 of our strongest effects, and leaning into that will generally be better than attempting to unbrick a hand, which we can already do by blocking for value. Outside of that, various equipment like Mark of Lightning and Crown of Providence, and sideboard cards like Sink Below will be meta dependent. Further testing and review of Tier 2 and 3 events over the next few weeks will inform our decisions there. For now, I'll be playing Nathan's and Pudding's lists card for card to determine what I like and what I don't. I want to give these decks some time to percolate before updating my personal list for all of you. I remain full speed ahead on Aurora for ProQuest season in October, and I'm really looking forward to tuning my list and playstyle along with all of you. Please let me know in the comments what has been working well for you and what hasn't, because the future of Aurora looks bright, and I'm excited to dig deeper into this deceptively complex aggro deck. Until the next time I see you all on Daily Fab Gameplay, take care.